Good morning and welcome to Friday Mornings with Carol and Jillian. We're a couple days late. We've been some busy ladies, and so we apologize, but we kind of thought, hey, this will be some Sunday night entertainment for everybody. So anyway, how was your week, Carol?
Well, I've had a great week. I've been helping my son stage his home. And if anybody's been to my home over the years, you know, my kitchen has been yellow and red, and now it's blue from Sherwin-Williams called Naval in a whole new look. So we did a really cute, just little fluff up with some great new flooring he did, and a little toile in a little red, and redid the bathroom to look like a spa. So
this is your son's?
My son's home that he's going to sell.
Yeah, we aren't redoing Carol's
no,
house
not
for the
again,
50th
Lord.
time.
And but the enjoyment I had was finding things that would work there and look nice and kind of finish one of his dreams to start a new one. So that was very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
And so did you have any visitors this week? Or
I had
do
a
any
special
cooking?
visitor, yes, my friend Denny. Her real name is Kirsten, but the funny thing is we always call her Denny because when she first started working with us, I could never get her name right. So she came,
I named her Denny.
Yeah, so she named her Denny.
Yeah.
And she is one of our dear friends and designers, and we had a impromptu dinner and talked and friendship, and actually kind of talked about some of the things that we're talking about today. And I really love that you can be friends with all different ages and people in your life. She's 24 and I'm 60, and yet we are still soul sisters and best friends, and I'm so thankful for that.
Well, I think we do a good job too I mean, we've got all age ranges for friends, and I think that keeps us young.
Right.
And wisdom is passed down.
Right.
I mean, I think it's very good.
Right.
So anyway, my week was a little interesting, and hence the
Notice
reason
the
I'm
crown.
wearing a crown. Because I don't normally wear a crown, nor do I even really want to wear a crown, but Miss Diva here decided to buy it for me as a gift. I reached a very important goal in my career this week, and it was very exciting. What was really fun is we celebrated with about 50 to 60 people on Thursday night, and with that being said, it was kind of cool. Billy and I went out last night to eat. Rowdy got his Xbox, his new one, so he stayed home to play games, and we went out, and it was so cool because when we were at Crawford's, people, I don't even know, the owners of Donahue's, she's watching us on Facebook, and she pulled up the picture for everybody at the table and talked about that day. So that was just kind of fun. Yeah. So it's been an exciting week for me, and still looking for homes as well, and haven't made any decisions yet. So anyway, but we'll get to the topic this week. What is it that we're going to be talking about today?
Well,
Carol?
we're going to be talking about fun, and one of the reasons that I kind of thought about this was a few days ago we had one of those gray days that it's like, oh, we're getting into November, December when it's dark, and it's like, oh, is that going to be hard to deal with without having the beauty of the sunshine and so on? And, you know, what can you do for fun? What is that you enjoy in your life? I think it's something important to really think about, because there are things you can do that can just give you a moment away from your life and your challenges. And my grandkids were over the other night, and it was a school night or we would have done it, but they wanted to go to a movie. And I've gone with them to Despicable Me and to Minions, and I did it more initially as an obligation, but you know what I found out? I kind of enjoyed myself. I laughed, we had popcorn, I think there's a sort of a adult content in those movies are hysterical. And I thought, you know what, get some popcorn, your kids, your grandkids, or if you have neighbors and you don't have children, ask if you can take them to a movie and have some fun and laugh and, you know, just kind of be a kid again for a little bit. I think we all need a little bit of that.
I agree. And if you're on a budget, Carol and I kind of talked about this a little bit too. I mean, have them over the house, create kind of a slumber party fiasco, you know. Who cares if you have to build a few tents with some blankets and just have some fun. So whatever budget you're on or whatever you can afford, I mean, either way is it's good.
Great. Absolutely.
It is. So yeah. I think that, you know, I'm pretty spontaneous. So for the kids and I, we usually just hop in the car and travel millions of miles just to go have fun once in a while. But I think as winter approaches, skiing for me is really, it's not only enjoyable, but it's just, you know, just to see the beauty.
Peaceful, I would say.
It's very peaceful, but I can put my earbuds in, listen to music I enjoy, watch people fall or watch people ski by me and yell, not so nice things once in a while. And but what's fun about that is we're planning a fun trip out to, where is it again? Deadwood
Yeah.
for New Year's Eve. So as far as myself and possibly Rowdy will be snowboarding and I'll be skiing, we like to go off on our own as individuals and not have anybody following us. And Carol and maybe Lexi and Mitchell and Billy and a few of our friends may be coming along.
Yes.
And they all want to sit in the lodge and drink. What is it you're going to drink?
Courvoisier.
That's what he drank last night. And I died laughing. I'm like, seriously?
Yes, we'll be drinking Courvoisier and Jill will be the snow bunny coming down the hill.
Yeah.
But we will both enjoy the experience. And I think one of the things we were talking about is fun for each person is a little bit different. And you need to find that, define it, and be, that's okay. If I want to, if my fun is hanging out in the lodge and yours is going down the ski slope, that's great. And we will all enjoy it and then have time together. And that's kind of what it's all about. So.
Yeah. So let's get to this book because actually there's some fun I'd like to talk about in that book.
Okay. This is called A Homemade Life by Molly Weisenberg. And I'll try and hold it so you can see it. And it is a cookbook, that I do cooking with Carol, and I'm always researching that. What I like about it is it's the story of she and her parents who cooked together for years. It has good recipes that are a little unusual. It also has pancakes in there that are kind of different the way they're made.
Love pancakes.
Yes. And but it's a life story. It's about joy and sorrow, as all of our lives are. And but the recipes are just a little bit different, that you don't feel like you've just picked up the same cookbook again and again. And it's a life story, a cookbook, great ideas, inspiring, not super expensive, so you could buy one for yourself and one for a friend.
I think, and I think this is probably true for a lot of families, but even the other night we had an experience, but I can even say as a young child, some of the best memories that are made have been cooking together in the kitchen.
Right.
The other night we were all laughing and we were talking about today's topic.
Yes.
And I mean, there were fires in the oven. We had grills blowing out because of the torrential blast winds. We had Lexi throwing in her little comments and going to the closets, coming in out with hats. I mean, the whole works. It was just
a fun night.
It was a fun night.
Yes, it was.
And, even when I was little, I'd try to sneak, kind of dip the old temperature thing in the hot water so I could stay home and cook. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. And I think even as you've built your kitchen, I'm looking for a home. Something very significant for our families are large kitchens, large dining areas, because we know that's where the hub is and where people
congregate.
It's just so fun. Yeah. So that's why this book is so special.
Right.
So anyway, we will get on to, Carol has some fun little comments to make about some quotes, some blogs she's reading. So,
well, we've talked about Dr. Brene Brown recently, and it's interesting when I've been doing reading actually from completely other resources, her name and her information comes up quite often. And through that, I found a book called Daring Greatly, and I love the title. I think we all need to dare greatly. And this is a quote that I actually shared with my friend Denny the other night, and I think it's very true.
And she posted it on Facebook.
I thought that was cool. Yes. Only by being vulnerable and risking hurt or failure can people open up to all the possibilities in life.
Okay, so only by being vulnerable and risking hurt or failure can people open up to all the possibilities in life.
I think that's a kind of a life message. And she talks about as we dare greatly and we're becoming more vulnerable, that we then really start living a life that she calls wholehearted living. When you are vulnerable enough to risk to fail, that you allow your children to have life experiences that are not all coddled, that once in a while they will fail and you let them fail so they know what it feels like, but that also you let them succeed and they know how that feels. And I think that was a great life message that we can all share in our own lives and with our children and our grandchildren as well. So,
you know what? That's awesome. Because even as adults, there's personal things going on in her life, my life, both of our children's lives. And you know what? That lesson that she just said, sometimes it's really hard as a parent to watch our children go through that. I mean, it's easier for us as parents to suffer a little, you know what I mean? But when our children are suffering, we have to stand back. And yet that risk of allowing them to fail, or that risk of watching them hurt a little bit to learn a life lesson, builds their character And in the end, it turns out to be a beautiful experience again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that this is one book that is something I would definitely recommend. I think her take on life, she is a researcher, so she doesn't just come up with an idea and talk about it. She really has empirical research that's put with this. So I think it's an author. I kind of will fall in love with an author that has a life message that I think is really important. And I'd like to share this with you. And we have a few moments, so there's a lot of meat to her subject matter, and it's something that I quite often read books online from Amazon, if that's something you want to do, which is something I do, because in my little house when I remodeled, I'm trying not to end up with 5,000 books. Of course, cookbooks are an exception.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
And then, Jill, you had another little bit of a blog we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
This is from, it's a email that I get. It's from Mark and Angel, and they write about lifestyle, about living your life with
Greatness.
intention and greatness and so on. And there's a quote about greatness that Jill's going to read for us.
Yeah. It says, greatness is a lifestyle, not a result. We all want to achieve greatness, but we need to remember that greatness is not a specific achievement. Greatness is not crossing over the finishing line. It's the ability to fight the good fight day in and day out. Greatness is strength. And I think greatness is courage as well.
Yes.
The strength to keep pushing and to keep living your life the way you want to live it. Greatness isn't an end result. It's a state of being. You don't win it. You don't win great. You are great every day.
I just love that quote. Isn't that something that, I don't know if you ever do this, write in a notebook. When I was working as a designer, I still had an old school appointment book. And every day I wrote an affirmation to myself. And I wrote a quote from whatever I was reading or thinking about. And, you know, I think it's really good to say something like that to yourself, put it in a sticky note, or if you use your phone for reminders, put it in a reminder in your phone. You are great. I think we need those things.
Or even on your bathroom mirror. I know a lot of people put quotes just to be reminded.
Right. I think that's a good thought for the day.
And Carol and I had a little conversation a couple days back, and I think this is the way I think, and the people who really know me will get this, but what I appreciate about this is that, you know, greatness, it's not a state of being and it's not an end result. So when you accomplish one thing, there's always another thing to accomplish.
Right.
And I was telling her, it's like running a race. You see the finish line, people are cheering you on once you cross the finish line, but you keep running because you know there's another finish line ahead.
Absolutely.
And they're still cheering you on, or at least in your mind you're cheering yourself on. At least I do every day.
Right.
So, and I do not wear a crown, but anyway, so
but this was a big enough deal that she needed a tiara.
Was a big event.
Yeah.
So meanwhile,
and also I have to say, no one was surprised who gave her the tiara.
Yeah, no one was. Exactly. So anyway, we want to wish you a great week of greatness and accomplishment, and have the courage to think outside the box and accomplish something that you're dreaming about.
That's right. And have a great week.
Thank you so much.